We'll start with putting the past in perspective. So you've probably heard it said before that in order to know where we're going, we need to understand where we've been. And so for me, the journey in HIV and AIDS started in the early 90s. My first job out of graduate school was working with people living with HIV and AIDS as a social worker, mainly doing home visits to people, for the most part, who were very ill and dying. There were a lot fewer options for people living with HIV in terms of medications. There was a lot less hope available for people who had this disease, and so it was very tough work, but there were many of us who pressed forward to try to do what we could to give hope to people who were living with HIV. And so I want my friends to have an opportunity to tell you a little bit about their perspective as it relates to the past, and maybe share a memory or a story to you in this next few minutes. Go, got your own mic. Okay, Dina, go ahead.
Why you gotta make me start? Florence and the PD, we also did a lot of home visits. We had some very sick patients, and there really wasn't any hope. There was one medication that was available for our patients. It was AZT. It was 20 pills a day. That's a lot different from what it looks like today, that's for sure. We did not have a ton of support, but one of the things that stood out the most when I was thinking about it last night and this morning was the anonymity that we felt like we had to have. We did not put any outdoor signage up because we did not want people to know where we were. Our patients would be afraid to come to our clinic if it was known that that's what our organization was about and that's where we were located. Much different than the way things are now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I've been with HopeHealth now for 18, 19 years. However, and I'm in HR now, however, HopeHealth was awarded a prevention grant from the CDC, and thus allowed them to hire me as a prevention case manager. And so that was my first time. That was back in 2004, and that was my first time ever working with anyone who was living with HIV and AIDS. So I wasn't sure about it. There was still a lot of stigma there. I wasn't as wise as I am now. I think I'm a lot wiser now. I was young then, so I wasn't quite sure whether I would be able to do it, but I think that was the best decision that I had made career-wise. There was still a lot of stigma there, and basically our responsibility was to go out in the community, to educate, to test. We did sister classes, a 6-week courses out there with African American women. We developed some beautiful relationships with some women out there in the community. We tested everywhere. We tested in the jails, we tested at the local colleges and universities, wherever housing developments, wherever we thought we needed to be, that's where we were. And pretty soon we got the reputation and people started calling and asking for us. And so we became the model for the state and for that grant, and we were asked to come down to Atlanta to the prevention conference and share what we were doing here in the PD.
My story, because mine is probably the most complicated to understand. But I will tell you that I joined this great organization in 2008 as a medical case manager for our HIV and AIDS in our Ryan White community, and it was absolutely amazing. Like Celeste, I was young, I wasn't sure, but my eyes were open to so much, and I fell in love with this work. So I'm so glad that I did that.
Thank y'all. So we do want to celebrate our past and the things that...
So overall at HopeHealth, we have a little over 700 employees, and within those 700 employees, we have 20 employees who are dedicated to our Ryan White and prevention services. Whereas in 2004, when I started, we probably had 20 employees total whenever I started. I know that our Ryan White services and our prevention departments still serve as a model here in the state.
I will say where we are now, yeah, hand clap for our providers. They're amazing. I will say in terms of where we are now, we have come so far. As Dina alluded to earlier, from taking 20 pills a day, we are now at 1 pill a day or an injection if you choose. So you can actually get an injectable now and don't have to take a pill every day. How awesome is that? How awesome is that?
Well, Samika stole my thunder because that's what I was going to say. But I also think that there's an injection that's coming that is quarterly. Isn't that right? Somebody from pharmacy, a quarterly injection instead of a monthly? So things have definitely changed, but we still, what we've noticed is our numbers have kind of leveled out. We still have about the same numbers in each one of our sites, the Florence site, Orangeburg, and Aiken, which is a good thing, but we still want to expand our reach. We still want to continue our testing and reach the people who don't know they're HIV positive.
Walk, and it's been really beautiful to see. I wanted to know, so it started in 1997, Dina, the Aidswalk started in 97, correct? When did it start? 93? Okay. So was anybody here at the first Aidswalk besides Dina? Tim? You were at the first Aidswalk? You were at the first Aidswalk. Okay, so we have two. Oh, we have lots of people at the first Aidswalk. Yes. Okay. Do you have anybody who has been at every Aidswalk? Do we have someone who's been at 20 Aidswalks? Okay. All right. We got some hands. Okay. I want to thank you guys so much for coming year after year. I know that we expected the weather to be a downpour, and God just looked out for us, and we are so thankful that the weather actually turned out to be really great.
Start walking in 3. Can y'all hear me? Well, lunging, all the things that you just want to do. We're going to walk all the way around in front. I'll be in front and come all the way back. And we're going to end up right here in front of the office. So we're going to walk, and then at the very end of the walk, we're going to all over here and probably take a picture. Okay? So don't stop, and then right after this, the walk is going to be served. All right? Everyone got the instructions? All right, let's go.
Let's go. You got your high knees ready?
Yeah, she got that banner. She got the banner. Hold on, Riley.